Alright guys, so let's get started. So I'll come over here. So go to your knees for me. So guys, we're gonna look at one of my favorite types of entry. We're gonna look at a K-guard. Okay? So let's start from a closed guard, which is a position that everybody knows. We're gonna be here, just hold his wrists. Now, we're gonna hold the wrist. Now I'm gonna take one hand, go inside like so. Okay, now I'm gonna take the other hand, go inside like so. So I'm controlling the inside of his biceps here. Now I'm gonna start to put my knees on the inside as well. So we started like this, grip the wrist, okay? Now get a hand, get the other hand, and then get your knees inside. Don't get your knees inside like square up to the ceiling. You could start like this, it's okay, but it's better to get it like tilted like this, because ultimately what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let go on this side. My left hand is gonna continue to hold his arm. This hand is gonna go underneath and grip under his leg. Okay, as I'm doing this, I'm gonna take this knee and bring it across his chest. Okay, this is very, very important, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is, at this point, I'm finally gonna let go of this arm, and this hand is gonna go under this armpit, and my elbow and knee are gonna connect. Then I'm gonna push him that way. Usually when you push him that way, he'll push back, and you can use that to push him this way. Okay, now, the importance of this leg in this situation is that my left shin is acting as a barrier between his upper body and my upper body, okay? I'm gonna show the whole sequence and then we'll talk more about this. Now I'm gonna take this knee and bring it between his legs so this foot is by his hip. So this is what we call a K-guard, okay? Now from here, I'm gonna connect my hands and I bring his knee onto my chest. Okay, we're gonna stop here and then we'll do the entry next, but we're gonna get to the point where we're about to do the entry. Okay, let's look at that again. So we start off in a closed guard. I grip his wrists. Okay, you could go both inside at the same time, but I find it's easier. I like to go 1, hold, 2, hold, then get my knees inside like so. Okay, and your shins are against his bicep. Okay, now from this point, what I'm gonna do is I let go on one side. You're gonna let go on the side of the knee that's lower. Here, if I were to like turn to the left side, it's kind of awkward because that hip is not on the floor. So here I'm gonna take this arm, go underneath. If he's leaning really far back, you can do stuff like pull him so if he sits back, you can kind of like pull like this, get some space between his calf and his hamstring and fit your arm underneath there. So he's here, he's sitting back a little bit too much. I'm flaring my feet out and pulling him towards me, and we go underneath. And look at how I get this knee across the chest. If this is like this, right, if it's loose, if the knee isn't across the chest, it's gonna be really easy for him to bring his chest to my chest. And now, this isn't the end of the world. You're back where you started, right? But if he holds this, right, you can't get anything going with a K-guard. Okay, so let's go back. So you wanna be here framing him, keeping him away from you. This hand, don't have it out here. Make sure it's under the armpit. Okay, now from here, again, we're gonna bump him. And then when he pushes back, we push him this way. Now this right knee is gonna drop. Okay, make sure this stays right here. And we grip and pull his knee onto your chest. You don't want his knee, if his knee's on the floor, put your knee on the floor. Yeah, this is not, you can still kind of do stuff here, but it's not ideal. Pull the knee up in your chest, hold it right here. Okay, make sense, guys? Yes? Any questions before we get started? If not, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. No, grip the wrist from the outside. Now go inside, one at a time. But don't go there. Look, you're gonna go here, the inside, and grip here. Yeah, now no. Do the other side as well. Good. Now you're gonna get your knees inside. Left side first. Which is gonna be both at the same time. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's better. So don't be square like this, turn onto one hip. Yeah, and don't have your foot on her hip. Yeah, okay, now take your right arm, go underneath her leg. Yeah, very good, good. Yep, and now get your left hand under her armpit, her left armpit. Yep, good, bring your elbow tight to your knee. Yeah, that's much better, good. Now push her so her hands go to the floor. Yeah, so look where this knee is. This is not where we would want this. This would be better if it was here. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot better. Do you see how your shin is a barrier between her upper body and yours there? Yeah, right. Yeah, good. Yeah, now you push her away and yeah. Yeah, then grab your hands. This is where we would stop. Grab your hands. Yeah, so this is like the end of the first part of the move. Yeah, good job.
That's my gameplay.
Okay, right. This is one of my favorite guards. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
And so this is pretty good, but now get that knee up on your chest. So I would connect your hands and don't use your thumbs. Grip like this.
Okay.
And pull his knee up in your chest. Yeah, even more. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot better. Yeah. Good. Yeah, good job. Yeah, that's good.
Just have a risk of a toe hold.
Yeah, I mean there's a risk of a toe, but it's not really a big risk because like watch, go back there. It's gonna be pretty easy for her to push you with her shin as you're trying to do that. So if you, with your left shin, push into his chest. Just like watch, do it on me. Do it on me. Okay. So when you're trying to grab the toe hold, I'm like pushing.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't stay in place. And also, okay, one more thing. So the foot is tight. No, watch, let me set it up. Look at where the foot is. It's tight to the armpit. It's not like here.
Okay.
Right? I want it like, if it's here, like the toe, so go to grab the toe hold here. You can grab it and see how it's kind of like it's not like a great grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be pushing. Yeah, doing stuff like this. And yeah, so it's not, I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, this is it. What's your name?
Gabriel.
然后他达成这样子，我感觉。
Yes.
And then go here. Good. Now do the same thing on the other side. No, you're kind of going the opposite direction. Go underneath. That's better. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're gonna use your knees. Bring them to the inside. Yes, that was perfect. That's very good. Okay. Now we're gonna get this knee close to the chest. No, that's too low. Keep the foot in the near the armpit. Yes, this is good. This is good. Okay, and get this a little bit more like under the armpit. Yeah. Now take your left hand, go underneath his armpit. Good. Now here, if he's leaning too far back, you can push him. Yeah, and we're gonna go over if he stands all the way up and you can't get his hands to the floor. Our goal here is to get his hands to the floor, okay? But we're gonna talk about what do we do if we can't, but for now, let's just assume that we can, right? So you get a push in this direction, he pushes back, you push him that way. Yep, good. Now get your knee inside. Very good. Yeah, this is very good. Now connect your hands and pull his knee onto your chest. Yep, very nice. Good. And just stop there.
What if it like the knee pops up?
He went a little far. I mean, this isn't bad. Like here, he could reap the leg, but yeah, keep the foot there. Because we're gonna go backside 50-50 next.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be like in that direction of attack.
Yeah, but first to control here on the armpit.
Yeah, your left foot should be under his far armpit with your shin across his chest. Yeah.
Okay.
This is good. How you're doing it is correct. Yeah.
You like the gable grip or the
I would grab like this.
butterfly?
Yeah, with your other hand on top. Yeah, that's how I like to grab. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Thank
And
you.
then keep it on the chest, right?
Yeah. The more on the chest, the better. Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. Very good. So no. Keep the left hand on that on her like tricep bicep area. Yep, that's very good. That's very good. Good. Now right hand on the inside of her leg. Right hand. Yep. Very nice. Good. Yep. And now just connect your hands. Yeah, I would go like this. Yeah, that's really good. That's good. Yeah, that was perfect. No worries. The next step where we actually attack the legs. So we start with this kind of a grip on the wrist. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna go underneath. Like so, framing, pushing, and now we get him here. Now at this point, I'm gonna take this foot, okay, and go behind his armpit. Okay, now I'm gonna use this foot to turn my hips this way, so I'm facing his back, okay? Now I'm gonna take this leg and drop by his knee, okay? From this point, the next step is taking this foot. I go over the top, and I go through the legs and I want to get my foot to the front of the far hip. Okay, so let's talk about like why I just did some of the things that I did. What he can do to stop this attack is turn the knee this way, yeah? And now I'm still holding the leg. I can still attack his leg, guys, but it's gonna be hard to get to a backside 50-50, okay? So I can still like enter the legs, and there's things I can do here for sure, right? But when he starts to face me, his knee starts to turn and I lose access to the backside, okay? So we can prevent that. First of all, we can prevent that by holding, this is important to mention as well, guys, by holding his leg tight to our head and his knee tight to our chest. If we're not doing that, nothing else we do really matters. But assuming we're doing that correctly, the next thing I want to do is make sure he's turned away from me, okay? One of the best ways I can do that is just with my foot at his armpit. If I'm pushing him this way, now when he goes to face me, it's very, very difficult, okay? Now, the next thing he can do to stop this attack is pinching his knees together. If he pinches his knees together and can't get through the legs, now I can still, again, I can still attack him. Okay, there's things I can do. But it would be much better if I could get through the legs. So what we can do to make that easier is I can take my right leg, simply put it right here. This is not gonna hold his legs open all day, but I don't need all day. I just need enough time to get my leg through like so. Okay, so that's why we start in this, come towards me a little bit more. That's why we start here, guys, but then I go here, push, and as I'm pushing again, I turn my hips in the direction of his back. Okay, I'm trying to obviously make my job as easy as I can. Now from here, my right leg blocks the knee, and then my left leg comes over the top and goes, make sure it gets all the way through his legs to the front of his far hip. Now from this point, we're gonna do two things at the same time. I'm gonna shoot my right leg straight, and my right arm is gonna pull at his ankle. And then I lock my legs. If I don't pull at the ankle, okay, I want my back to be straight. If I don't have a strong pulling force at the ankle, with my back straightening out, it can be pretty easy for Cyril to run away. So he runs away, and see his knee comes right out. Okay, let's come back. So from this point here, I'll pick the knee up just a little bit. Yeah. From here, what I have to do is I shoot my right leg straight, and then I'm gonna pull, and look at how I'm pulling, guys. I'm pulling with one arm, okay? I'm pulling tight to my chest like so, very, very deep, like basically grip with my bicep, and then I shoot my right leg. And then as soon as I can, I lock. Okay, now here, if I'm pulling at the ankle, holding it into my chest, when he goes to run away, he's gonna keep doing it, Cyril. He's gonna pull me with him. Look at what happens when I loosen. When I loosen, he runs away. Yeah, the knee comes right out. Okay, so this is really, really important to make sure we don't lose this position. Okay, so I'm here. We have a good backside 50-50. My legs are locked. His knee is inside my knee line. Do you guys understand that concept, right? My knee line. So there's a line between my knees. If his knee is outside that, just pop your knee outside. This is not to my advantage. Even if I were to catch his heel here, this is still good because I have his heel and I could get the knee line back, but without the knee line, it's pretty hard to finish people, okay? So we wanna always have the knee line if we can. Now from here, to get the knee line back, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull at the ankle and shoot my right leg. And look at how my back, guys, my shoulders are going back as much as possible. So usually when we're doing leg locks, we want our shoulders going forward and round, but this is a situation where that's basically the opposite. I want to go back. Okay, now I lock my legs, and this is very strong. The difference between this and this is enormous, okay? I have people ask me all the time, they say, people run away and they free their knee from my knee line in backside 50-50. It's almost always because they're not pulling enough at the ankle and straightening out their spine. Okay, once we've done this, the next thing I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna take this hand and I grip the toes, okay? This is basically why I'm doing this with one hand. So I have this hand now free to grip the toes. I pull, and guys, don't grab any other part of the foot. You have to grab right here by the toes, and grab in this way where your thumb is on the same side as your fingers. Okay, if you grip like this, it's just not very strong for what we want to do. We want to pull it across. Okay, here it's just like you're gonna feel like this is. Try this out, guys. It's not very strong. Okay, so here we grip, and I'm still pulling tight here. I grip, and then when I start to pull across, this hand it's gonna start helping I'm just gonna push here. I push, and now when I go to catch the heel, I don't do this. I don't try to catch with my wrist. I take my elbow and I push his toes back, then I catch. It makes a big difference. If I try to go like this, he points his toes, it's like really, really hard. But instead, you can even, another thing you can do, guys, is you can grip the heel with your hand and push. But make sure you're pushing with either it can be your elbow or it can be your armpit. Some people prefer the elbow, some people prefer the armpit. I think there are advantages to both. I kind of like the elbow a little bit more, but the armpit is probably easier. Anyway, so you push back, whatever you're using to push it back, and you don't need to, but it can help to pull the heel. You push it back, then you catch it. And once you've caught it, the next thing we're gonna look at is finishing here. This is very, very strong, guys. This is probably the easiest position to finish any heel hook, okay? It's very, very easy. Okay, so let's look at the whole thing one more time. So we'll start from here. I'm inside, kind of like an open guard situation. I go underneath his leg, and I start moving into a K guard. I push him away, pull his knee onto my chest. Now the next step is left foot to the armpit, rotate, and let's understand why we're doing this, guys. When I'm trying to prevent, to be honest, guys, I'm being pretty lazy with my right arm here. I really should be much tighter. What I'm trying to prevent is his knee. See how his knee's facing me? This is good. I don't want his knee to start facing away, because now I'm losing access to the back of his knee. Here, the back of his knee is right in front of me. This is what I want. Okay, and that's because his knee is facing towards me. Okay, as his knee starts to face up towards the ceiling, point your knee up towards the ceiling. I still might have a good grip on his leg, but I don't have, like, this is really hard to reach the back of his knee. Okay, so instead I want it right here, and I can make that happen by pushing his upper body away from me and turning my hips towards his back. All right, now my right leg drops here. My foot and shin are blocking his knee and thigh. Now my left foot comes over the top. Don't stop here. Go all the way through the legs to the front of the far hip. Now from this point, your grip that you wanted it low before, or high, close to the knee, now you want it low to the ankle. Get this arm as deep as you can get it. Don't have it shallow, you're not gonna be able to pull strong. Get it very deep. Now you're gonna straighten out your back and shoot your right leg. Look at my right leg, guys. Because he wants to get over my right leg. So come over my right leg. Yeah, so if my right leg is close to my elbow, it's easier for him to get over. So I wanna make it as far of a target for him as possible. Okay, now I lock my legs. Once I've got his knee in my knee line, I lock my legs to keep it there. I keep this tight so he can't just run away. Grip the foot, like so, very low at the toes. Start to pull. Pulling across. If you make this grip, guys, this is very easy to do. Okay, so we start to pull across. Now my right hand posts right here. Okay, we start to pull across. We post right here. My elbow, so I go underneath, and then I go back. Okay, see how it's, again, guys, this is really important. I'm not doing this. You can get low-level people with heel hooks like this. This is definitely possible, but this is way, way stronger. Because what you're doing here, his defense is gonna be to, this is the exact opposite of what you'd wanna do to defend an ankle lock, okay? If you defend an ankle like this, you're getting your foot broken. But a heel hook, which I'm sure Bill is gonna talk about later, but like, when you're defending a heel hook, this is exactly what you wanna do, okay? Because here, the heel, it's really hard to grab. He has a lot of ankle, sort of like flexibility in a specific range that prevents the heel hook, okay? So now here, I can grip the heel, and now my elbow is gonna push the toes back. I prioritize that before catching the heel. That'll make everything a lot easier. All right, and now from here, we can catch our hands and we're gonna finish the heel hook. Don't finish yet, we're gonna finish in a moment, okay? Any questions, guys? Nope? Okay, let's give it a try, guys. 1, 2, 3. Either have a heel hook or you're about to get a heel hook. Like, that's the least of your concerns. But like, let me show you where I'll have my foot. Let's just fast forward, so come out here. Let's just skip forward. Yeah. So I keep my foot pretty low, but like this, I don't really care that much, but I keep it like mostly here. So here, the toe hold, if you were going for the toe hold, yeah, it's not there at all.
This one is good.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is. Yeah, see, you're putting your. This isn't bad. You can still do stuff here. You could go to a single leg X, lots of things, right? But for what we're doing, turn this way. Yeah, this is better. Okay. Now, take this foot. Do this first. Go to the armpit and push him away from you. Yeah. See how that look? That opened up this space.
Yes.
Right? You see that? Yeah. Good. Now this here. Wait. Now hold on. I just want you to understand each step. So this is preventing him from bringing his knees together. Okay. Now that comes over the top. Beautiful. Yeah. And that's very good. Now take this to here. Tight. Yep, good. And then, yeah, you basically can move into the heel hook now.
Okay.
No, go like this. Right there.
You grab the toe?
No. Grab like this. And with the finger, yeah, just like that. Good.
Okay, grab the toes here.
Yep, that was good. Good. And then catch your hands, and we're gonna finish the heel hook next.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice. We did that. Lock your legs here.
Of course, sorry. Okay. What do you like here for a grip?
That one's okay. If you're gonna do that one, do this.
Okay.
But I like just regular.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that better. Yeah, I don't think you need like these fancy grips here. This is like the most fucked situation for a heel hook.
Really?
So it's like,
It's like over here.
Yeah, and there's a reason I don't like the reverse figure four here, which is that the reverse figure four in an inside heel hook encourages spinning.
Okay.
And I don't want him to spin because then he could spin out.
Because it's slow or because it's not that strong?
It's no. It's very strong, but it encourages spinning because of the way your elbow is pointing. With an outside heel hook, it doesn't encourage spinning. And for an outside heel hook, I think it's the best grip.
Okay.
It's the best grip there is.
For the outside it's better, okay.
I think so. For the inside, can you fuck somebody up with it? 1,000%. Yes, it's very strong. Okay, but you can also get guys that spin like lunatics, and then in jiu-jitsu matches, sometimes if you spin and you go out of bounds, like the ref will just stand you up. So it's like, if it's an MMA fight, so it's kind of funny. I think with this, if you're in an MMA fight, you just hit the cage. Who fucking cares? You're gonna blow their like it doesn't matter. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go back one step. Okay, so go, so chop over the top. Okay, now go tight with one arm. Yeah, good. Now, lock your legs. Good. Now, grip the toes and do the heel hook. Yeah, you could do that, but what I like better is this. So here, pull the toes across, take the left, your right hand, make a C grip, and just like post at the ankle or the foot. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah. Now elbow forward and then back. No, don't do that. So this is like an older school thing. Like this can work, but get somebody with a strong foot, and that's really fucking hard. Instead, what I think you should do is here, like it's almost like a strike into the foot. Yeah, and really get your arm straight back. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. I find that that's like much stronger. Because you get like, imagine you're going against somebody who's like very strong. You think your arm's gonna like, yeah. It's hard, man. But if you hold it, you just hit it, right? This is like pretty strong. Yeah, but your arm is still you're still like this. I want you to literally do that. Yeah, that's much stronger. Yeah, and don't grip like this. Grip like here. Yeah. That's okay, but even better would be here. So wrist, so you've got hand to hand, wrist to wrist, and like form to form is kind of shit. Yeah. So I would go wrist to wrist. This is, I think, in this situation, this is probably the tightest. Yeah.
Should I just grab here?
No, I wouldn't do that. Just go wrist to wrist. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My favorite finishing grip is actually palm to palm. Yeah, that's actually my overall favorite like finishing grip. But here, like wrist to wrist is probably the best. The problem with going like form to form is like it looks tighter and deeper, but what you're doing is you're taking your arm and you're putting their heel at your bicep, which is much more likely to slip. So you never want their heel at your bicep. I'm tired. Yeah. But anyway, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just take your left arm and straighten it all the way. Like in this, it's okay. Again, this direction, and then just go straight back.
Whoa.
Yeah. So you're just. It's almost like it's almost like you're elbowing the foot.
Whoa,
does that
that's
make
so
sense?
tight.
Yeah, so you go here, because what she's gonna do, she's good. She's gonna point her toes as hard as she can here. And there are people with really strong feet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like I used to train with a guy who was a former Olympic level fencer. I guess they had to like do that. Like, yeah, so his foot was fucking crazy strong. So to get him, I had to do that, where you go here and you hit it. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, good.
Imagine a ballerina.
Yeah, or I never trained with a ballerina, but like I probably have really strong feet. Yeah.
Nice, let me try this.
Yes, good. Pull onto your chest. Pull onto your chest. No, but you're turning your hips away. Keep your hips facing this way. Good. Yeah, now chop over the top with your right leg. Yeah, good. Lock your legs. Good. Tight at the ankle. Yeah, grab the foot. Yep, good. Go to the top. Post. And don't do that. I want you to do that. Bang.
Like with the left.
Yeah, like, not your, you could use your left, but it's more just like the strike.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Oh
bang.
shit, yeah, I feel the difference.
Do you see how like what it's doing is this? I'm gonna explain this in a second. It's pushing the toes. If you push the toes one way, the heel comes out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so we wanna
Get more exposure, yeah.
Yeah, you wanna push the toes out to force heel exposure. So, yeah, make sense? Yeah, okay, good. So let me see you do it and then we're gonna move on. That's too high. You need it lower inside his hips. Yep, good. But you don't need to do that until you've bumped him forward. Yeah, good. Now connect your hands. Put his knee on your chest. Good. Now use your left foot. Push the back of his armpit. Push him away. Right leg drops. Very good. Yep, very nice. Jump over the top. Yep, very good. Now tension at the ankle. Beautiful, good. Grab the foot, pull it to the top.
And lock your legs, yeah.
Yeah, and don't. So we're gonna go over defending and finishing here. Okay, we'll first talk about finishing, and then we'll talk about how he can defend and escape. Okay, so we're in the position. There are two major situations in this position that we're gonna encounter. Okay, if my knees are facing towards the wall, that's one situation. If my knees are facing towards the floor, that's another situation. And that's gonna change what is available to him. Okay, what defensive options are available to him. Okay, from the offensive man's perspective, the first thing you wanna do when you get this position, take your elbow, make sure your elbow is coming towards your hip. So don't have it, see how it's out here? This is not great because it can fall off. Sometimes you'll get a heel hook, you'll go to finish and you'll lose it. It was because your elbow was lined up with his leg. So bring it back. If it's back here and your wrist is coming towards your face here, I'm not gonna do it on him hard, but once you do the heel hook, you're not going to lose it, okay? So the elbow comes back. Now we connect our hands. Make sure the heel is near your wrist. Okay, don't be here, be here. Now we connect our hands. Now what I'm gonna do is, the first thing I would like to do is, I'm gonna do this without the actual heel hook. I'm gonna turn my hips towards the floor, okay? Now here I can pull the heel towards my face and bridge down into it, okay? This is very, very strong, okay? So we catch, my elbow comes into my hips, we connect our hands, and I'm doing two things with my left arm. The elbow's coming into his hips and my wrist is coming into my face. So two things at the same time, and then I catch, very, very strong, okay? From here, I'm gonna turn down to have my hips facing the floor, and I'm resting on my forehead. From here, I'm gonna bridge in and draw his heel to my face, okay? That's the first option. The next option is gonna be, if as I go to do this, he spins with me, I'm gonna follow him and throw my feet to the opposite side. Okay? So you guys can stay on that side because we're gonna come back here. So guys, the first thing we try to do is I try to go belly down. And here I try to finish, Sarah, I try to finish by bridging here. But if he's fast, I go to belly down, he spins with me, and I don't keep my feet on this side. Okay, I don't keep my feet on that side. Okay, as we're rolling, I throw my feet to the other side. Okay, specifically, my left foot goes on his stomach, my right foot goes over his far hip. This is so that now when we're chest to chest, we weren't chest to chest before, right? Now we're chest to chest. He can come towards me. If I'm here, I could finish him, or he could come towards me, and no, that wouldn't work. Come towards me, like grab my head and stuff. He can, no, but stay on your butt. Like, just come towards me like this. Yeah, here he can start to do things that make it really difficult for me to finish, okay? If I'm here, I can use this foot to push him away. He comes towards me, I push him away, my right leg can cover my left foot so he can't just grab it and take it off, right? So this is a very strong finishing position, okay? So let's come back. We'll just finish this one. Okay, first option, belly down, finish. Second option, we roll, we throw our feet to the other side, okay? Now, what should he be looking to do here to stop me from doing either of these things? His first option is going to be to sit on my thigh right here. Nope. Yes, just like that. So he's going to want to sit on my thigh. What does this do? Look at my hips, guys, and my knees. They're facing towards the wall. If he's sitting on my thigh, and bring this knee a little lower, yeah, this is much better. This is very good right now. So he's here. I can't rotate my hips because I don't have space. So I can't push my knees down to the floor. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? So this is the first thing he should try to do. Now, what he's going to want to do is back step. And when he, before you do this, when he back steps, he's not going to fall backwards. If, as he back steps, he fall backwards, I'm just going to bridge in and finish that heel up. Okay? So what he wants to do is, nope, you're not sitting on me yet. You have to sit on me. Yep, good. Now he back steps and he's going to come towards me with this knee. Yep, this is, even if I have a heel hook, let's go back one step. Even if I have the heel hook, he sits on me. Yep, good. He sits on my thigh. Okay? See how like this bunches my hips up. I can't get any force really going into his knee. Now he back steps, and the key is his knee, as it back steps, it comes come behind my elbow, and stop right here. It comes behind my elbow and it's coming forward. Here, this is actually not that strong, okay? If you're dealing with a guy that's really strong, I'm not saying you will not ever get finished here, okay? I mean, you're in a terrible situation to begin with, but this is gonna improve your chances of not getting tapped, okay? Now here, what he can do is, remember guys, I don't want my elbow lined up with his leg. He can take his knee now, and he can also use his hand to push that forward and then take the grip out and lock up his legs, and now he's safe, and you know, he can attack me. So let's go back. So that's what he wants to do. So what I have to do, obviously, in this position is, I'm always trying to keep my upper body away from his hips. So do you see how it's the same thing as before. I want to expand my spine. So here when he goes to sit on me, it's hard. If I'm like this, he goes to sit on me, it's easy, right? So I want to be like this. I'm starting to turn my left shoulder down to the floor, and my back is straightening out. And I'm pulling, my elbow's going to his hips, and my wrist is coming to my face. So when he goes to sit on me, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And I can start to rotate, okay? If he does succeed in sitting on me, he sits on my thigh here, you can still win here. Just hold and try to put your hand here and start to move your hips away and then get some distance. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Yeah. All right, so let's practice this, the offense and the defense. When we're finishing that first heel hook, guys, be very, very light on it. Don't bridge very hard. You see when I'm practicing it on Cyril, I'm really not even like, I go belly down with one hand, then I let go. You can practice literally without the actual heel hook, just to be safe, okay? It just depends on how his knees are, okay? All right, any questions before we get started, guys?
I have a question.
Sure.
When you on the 90-10, this leg is open or pinched down?
Let's go over that next. So it's a good question. So so Cyril, let's just roll this way. Yeah, good. When we roll through to this position here, so we're facing him. Keep coming this way. No, you're just like move this way. Yeah, keep going. Yep, guys, this position here is called, there's two names for this, 90-10 or outside Senkaku. So I usually call it outside Senkaku. So anyway, so in this position here, we're gonna look to do something very specific with this leg. At first, my knee is gonna be up, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna compress it down for the finish, but we're gonna do that next, okay? Yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll get to that next, and any other quick questions, guys? If not, let's give this a try. 1, 2, 3. So we pull the foot, no, you gotta get the heel hook first. Pull the foot to the top. Okay, so now the first, yeah, keep the heel hook. And obviously go nice and slow. If you have to, you can do it without the actual heel hook in place. We go now belly down. Good, and now keep your legs locked, you bridge, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is a very strong heel hook. Good.
Okay, and then here she would sit on me?
This is how she would defend. Now watch, I want you to catch the heel here, and you're gonna feel, this is not easy to finish. Like, it's hard to heel hook her here. Okay, now take your left leg, the defensive person, back step, and get your knee behind her elbow. Yeah, good. A little bit, bring the knee a little bit farther back. Like, bring your foot closer to her hip. Well, now it's
This one.
She moved her arm for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Bring the foot, no. Like, look, this needs to be behind this.
Oh, yeah.
So you would want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now lock your legs.
My leg.
Yep, your legs. That's going to keep you safe from getting heel hooked. Yeah, she can't, if your legs are locked, she can't heel hook you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from here, what do I?
You wasn't. Yeah, but that was good. Yeah.
That's a wrap here?
Well, there's more stuff to do, but yeah.
Right.
As far as what we looked at, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so he's being, look my legs. I stop my leg here.
Yeah, you would do a similar thing. Where you I would, so watch. What we're going to talk about is taking the foot and going here, and for now, keep the knee up. Yeah, but you could do, this is another, this is common as well.
Wrong?
This is not wrong, they're just different. Yeah,
Okay.
this can work. This can work. Okay. Either is.
You prefer here?
Yeah, I prefer there. We're going to talk about why. It's going to help with the finish.
Can you do the
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the next thing we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is going to be
the same
very
question
short.
he have, just need
Yeah.
to open the leg. But he is right, okay?
This is okay. I like this better because you're stepping on his hip, so he can't like. Sometimes you get like very tough people who they straighten their leg. Don't do this, Cyril. They'll straighten their leg. They'll like they'll roll this up. Yeah, like
Okay,
do you know what I'm
press it
saying?
up and then drag.
Yeah. Here, the weakness of this is that it's not pushing down as much, so you'll get crazy people that will plant this foot and don't do this, and he can spin like crazy.
Okay,
right?
okay, yeah, I
yeah.
don't
But if you
understand.
step on it, if you just put your foot on it. No, right here. Yeah. Now he can't do that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
I have more, I can pinch him.
Yeah, exactly.
That-
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this is my question.
Okay. Together. Roll together. Very good. And now you're landing with a heel hook. Yeah, you're gonna finish that heel hook right there. That's gonna be our goal. Yeah. This is a very strong heel hook finishing. Yeah. You wanna give it a shot? I think you're gonna do it. You've been doing good so far. All right. Push, good. Right leg drops, yep, good. Now tension at the ankle, pull it to the top with the left hand. No, go in front, good. Good, catch the heel. Okay, now very light, you're gonna try to go belly down. She's gonna roll defensively.
That way?
Yeah, you're gonna go that way, yeah. Good, and now throw your legs outside, good.
Just still finish.
Yeah, good. Sit down. Everybody come to this side, guys. And rotate this way. Nope, the other way. Everybody come to this side. You'll be able to see better. Okay, guys. So now we're gonna finish a chest-to-chest heel hook. This is my favorite. This is my favorite heel hook. Okay. So in this position here, the first thing I want to focus on is getting his leg bent. I don't want this leg straight. If this leg is straight, it's gonna dramatically lower our ability to finish the heel hook in this situation, okay? So we want the leg bent, okay? The best way to get it bent is to, when you're rolling, bend it as you're rolling and then keep it bent when you land, okay? If he manages to straighten it out here, what I'll usually do is, it's hard to rebend it here. So what I'll do is I'll go back into like a roll and then I'll rebend it. But let's not focus on that now. Let's focus on, we rolled, and as we were rolling, we were able to compress our body in and keep a good bend. Okay, so this is a good bend here. What we're gonna look to do, the reason why we want this bend, is I'm gonna take this leg, come over the top, step on the hip, okay, and then use the inside of my thigh. And I'm gonna compress down at the outer part of his thigh. So look, here is gonna go here. Okay, and I'm gonna push his knee down. Now I can do that with this leg here. I can still do that, but it's not quite as strong. The reason why it's not as strong is here my foot is farther over his hip, meaning my knee is farther from his knee. So the thing I really want to push down is like this part of the thigh right here. All right, so if my foot's on top of his far hip, look at where my knee is, it's in pretty much the exact spot that I want. See how I push that down? Yeah, that's what we want to do, okay? Now the advantage of doing this is that now my foot is farther, like his knee is more deeply inside my knee line, so that's an advantage, right? Remember, we don't want it to pop out of the knee line, that would be bad. But the reality is, guys, as long as you're stepping hard on his hip, okay, plus guys, we already have a heel hook here. Like realistically, it's gonna be hard for him to take his knee out of our knee line, okay? So yeah, so now I'm compressing this down, okay? That's what we're doing with our legs. Let's talk about what we're doing with our arms now, okay? So I'm gonna do this really loose with my legs on Cyril so I can show the grip properly. I'm gonna have my wrist close to the heel. And just as we discussed before, I wanna have my elbow coming into my ribs. But here, because my elbow is on the floor, I can't just bring it up and like bring it towards my ribs. That's unrealistic. Instead, what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna lean on my forearm. So the way you can kind of think about this, guys, is think about as if you're gonna touch your shoulder to the floor, but then stop before you actually do it. Okay, so I go to touch my shoulder to the floor, and then I stop before I actually do it. I don't wanna go all the way down, because this relieves pressure from his heel. What I wanna do is, I wanna go as if I'm going to go to the floor, and as I'm doing it, look, my wrist comes to my face, and I stop right about here. Okay, now what I do is I point my thumb at my chin. Point your thumb directly at your chin. Now, don't point your wrist. When you point your wrist at your chin, what you're gonna feel, guys, is, man, I feel like my wrist fucking hurts, okay? And I don't like doing this. It doesn't feel comfortable, okay? So I point my thumb at my chin. This feels comfortable to me, okay? So I wanna pull my thumb to my chin. Here's a common mistake. Don't pull and twist. That takes the heel off of the floor and points his knee out. We don't want that. If his knee points out, I can't compress it down. I want it pointing up to the ceiling. Okay, now here, when it's pointing up to the ceiling, I can compress it. Okay, I can compress the knee down. Okay, so that's why it's important that we don't, when I pull the thumb to my chin, I'm not twisting. I'm resting on my forearm and I'm pulling the thumb to my chin. Okay? Now here, to finish, we can do this with one hand. We'll do it with two hands in a second, but the finish with one hand is I pull my thumb to my chin, I bring my chin to my thumb, and I compress the knee. This is a very, very strong heel hook. Now, to make it even tighter, I'm gonna connect my hands. When I connect my hands, I take this forearm, bring it over the shin, and we finish like that, okay? This is okay. This is tighter. And this is my favorite heel hook, guys. This is a really, really strong heel hook. Okay, you okay? Good. Okay, so guys, first step, understand what we're doing with the leg. Okay? I should say with our legs to his leg. I'm compressing this knee down with my legs. Right now, there's obviously no damage occurring to Cyril's leg because his foot and his knee are moving together. But if you can imagine, like, so we're here, pretend I have a heel hook grip here. That knee is going down independent of the heel hook, which is over here. Like, that's damaging his leg. Okay, so stay right here for me. So what's happening is this foot's being held here. You're holding it in place, and then you're compressing the knee down at the same time. And this stays here, that goes in, and there's damage to the knee. Okay, if they go together, it's safe. If they don't go together, it's not. Okay, so if he's able to extend this leg, this is where, like, the reason why makes it more difficult is, look, my squeezing of my legs is it's actually not doing anything. Okay, I'm not compressing his knee. Okay, come back up. So, another common mistake, guys, I see is people just squeeze. This is not doing anything, okay? The focus has to be on, you keep this leg low so that there's a lot of space for me to compress my left leg. So I'm actually getting separation of knee and ankle. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Like how the mechanics of this work? Yeah, good. Okay, so, and again, for the grip, get your elbow close to your ribs by leaning towards your shoulder, okay? Over here. Pull your thumb to your chin. Pull your thumb to your chin. Now we connect our hands with your forearm over his shin. Another finish. We step on the hip. I'm gonna very slightly, very slightly, guys, let's be nice to our training partners, compress my left leg down. And that's the finish. What if he straightens his leg at any point? Straightens his leg. The next thing we wanna do, guys, is go back to a regular 50-50 and start bringing your elbow towards him, forcing him to roll. And then we're back in a backside. In the backside 50-50, let's keep going. As we land, I crunch in and I land with a bend. The best time to bend a leg is when he's backside. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So if he straightens, we don't really have too much space, but yeah, we can do one more roll. If he straightens, I'm not gonna keep trying that one that I just showed. I'm gonna go to a regular 50-50, we roll, and now it's right, stop, come bring this one back up. And now here, as we're rolling, I'm gonna bring my chest in to his shin, and that's what bends his leg. And now here I'm back in a situation where I can do the chest to chest heel hook. Does that make sense, guys? Like how these two things interact with one another? Yeah? All right, any questions before we get started?
Can I say one more time?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so come down here. The rolling part or the whole thing?
The rolling part.
The rolling part? Okay.
The rolling part, the foot tread.
Sure, no worries. So just remember, like, look, there's two main positions, right, of your feet. Here, like outside the hip, and like some variation of this. Like the foot can either be here or here. Okay, this is a regular 50-50. This is outside Senkaku or 90-10, people call it, okay? The reason why, the reason why I don't like 90-10 is I never remember what is supposed to be 90-10, what is 80-20, what is 75-25, like, it's like all these different numbers, like, yeah, outside Senkaku, that one I always remember. Do you know who named that position outside Senkaku, by the way?
I don't know.
That was Kamal. Kamal named it that. Yeah, I think it was a joke of some kind, but yeah, Kamal named it that and it picked it up apparently. Yeah, all right, anyway, so if you're here, you need, in this position, you need a bent leg. So what do we do if he straightens the leg out? Okay, we gotta bend the leg. So we're gonna take our legs, no, not yet. We're gonna take our legs back here. And now look, I'm gonna turn. And now here, so stay right here. Here, the way he's gonna defend is by spinning. So he spins to defend. Don't fall down to your hips. Look, so now here, what I'm gonna do is, if he falls onto his hips like that, just belly down, heel hook him right here. Okay, so now we're gonna roll with him, and look carefully, I'll come back to the other side, I think it'll be easier to see. Come right over here. Yeah, look at what's gonna happen with my feet as we roll. I just open up my legs and look. I put this foot on the stomach, this foot falls over the top. You were doing it right before already, don't worry. Yeah, it's not as, you were doing it right, so it's not as difficult as you're thinking. Okay, so look, you're going here. The trickier part, guys, focus on, as you're rolling, bending the leg by bringing your chest in. Does that make sense, guys? Because here, straighten this leg up for me. Man, this is fucking hard to bend. This is very fucking hard to bend, okay? But when you're belly down, think about it, like, let's just roll back this way. Come up to your knee here. So guys, like, why is this easy to bend? Because like, my body weight is going into his leg, right? Like, think about it, right? If, back step for me. Here, I'm not like falling on his leg, right? His leg is over my hips actually. So we go here. My hips are over his leg. So it's much easier to bend here. I have gravity on my side here, right? So it's much easier to bend. So we roll nice and slow, roll nice and slow. So it's so easy to just sort of like crunch in and we land with a bend and you're good to go. Like this is an easy finish here now. Okay, makes sense, guys? All right, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. The thing is this. Bridging in and compressing down are two different ways you can achieve the same goal, which is bringing the knee, so let go of the heel hook for a second. You want to hold the foot in place, and don't actually do this now so we don't destroy Gabriel's knee. So as we compress the knee down. Yeah, he's like, yes, please. Yeah, like And you can do that with a bridge or you can do it with a compression. I find the compression much stronger. There are different schools of thought on this topic. So certain people like Jeremy Paul Skinner or Eddie Cummings or Jason Rao are big proponents of like the compression-based method, or at least they were the last time I checked. But maybe that's changed, I don't know. And then you have other guys like Lachlan Giles and Craig Jones who they like bridging. And like bridging is definitely easier. It's more intuitive. Like there are times like you can find matches of any good leg locker where they bridge, right? Any leg locker that's like, oh, I never bridge, they're a fucking liar, okay? Everybody bridges occasionally, okay? But I find the compression-based finish, if you can get like everything lined up for it, I think it's the strongest. It's like the sniper rifle of heel hooks, you know what I mean? The bridge, that's like the shotgun. The compression, that's like the sniper rifle. It takes a lot of precision to get the shot right, but once you get the shot right, it's like an instant kill. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So does that make sense? Yeah, because of the ability that the compression gives you to internally rotate the knee, independent of the foot. Bridging, it just like never does it as powerfully. Whereas compressing, you can really get that.
Yeah, for me, I always use the compression basically to just create tension in the leg and then use it to bridge.
Yeah, and that can work. That can 100% work. Because what you're doing when you ultimately do the bridge, you're doing the same thing. You're just internally rotating the knee. But if you get it really, really tight and you just use compression, I personally think that's the strongest. So does that make sense? Yeah. No, let me see you do it.
So if you're here, yeah, usually I do it from inside, right?
So that's why you're bridging more, because so that position there, so this is a different position.
You can stand up.
Yeah, you can stand up, but you can still finish with it. I personally don't like it as much. Put the left foot on the inside. This is called crisscross ashi.
Yeah.
So crisscross ashi, the advantage of this is you can't get toe holded there. Yes, and sometimes sometimes that matters, right? But what I don't like, he's probably gonna get out. Like that's pretty strong there. Yeah, so come back. So what you do is you're gonna start bridging, and sometimes you think he can spin that way like a crazy person because you're not over his hip at all.
Yeah.
You know, regular outside Senkaku, you're doing something here to hold the hip in place.
To prevent the roll.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I like the foot on top of the hip. In my opinion, if you look at the top leg lockers nowadays, this is how they play outside Senkaku.
On the hip.
On the hip. And honestly, man, like crisscross ashi is one of those positions that it's good and it can work, but generally speaking, this is much stronger. This is a little riskier, right? Because he could attack that foot, right? But in my mind, I'm like, look, there's a fucking inside heel on there.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about a toe hold on my foot, where realistically also, as long as you're pushing down hard, it should be hard for him to even get the toe hold. Do you know what I mean? So while he's finagling for a toe hold, you're busting his knee up. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, good questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Gabriel, let me see you do it.
Yes.
Do it the other way so I can see though. Yeah, I could just get up, but I'm lazy. So step on the far hip. So never leave this here, because he could. I mean, look, you have a heel hook, so he could do a counter heel hook. It's unlikely because you've got the heel hook, but why even give him that option?
Okay. Yeah.
Put this here, and this will also do a better job of pushing him away from you.
Okay.
He can sometimes prevent the heel hook if he can get close to you. So this will make it difficult for him to get close to you. Okay. So now you step on the hip with this foot, and now get the just step on the hip and get the knee high. So start here. Okay. Now this leg's a little too straight. Let's just artificially bend it for now. Yeah. Okay. Now, no, be careful here. Okay. Do it too fast. Okay. Roll onto your form. So do this. Watch.
Can I with the heel? Or?
You can. I promise you. I just did it a bunch of times. Yep, good. Yep, good. Now look, I want you to pretend like you're gonna touch the shoulder to the floor, and then stop before it actually touches. Yeah. Yep, this is good. This is a very strong position. Now so keep everything where it is. Point the thumb at your chin, and now I just want you to pull your thumb to your chin, and keep everything else. Yep, that's very good right there. This is very, very strong. Feel this position. This is exactly where I want you to have your upper body. This is very, very good. Okay. Now, very gently compress that knee down, and you're gonna get a finish. And just keep pulling with the thumb.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're compressing straight down instead of internally rotating my knee. That's better.
Yeah. He needs. All he has to do is pull more with the thumb.
tap, tap, tap.
Yeah. Slow, guys. Both of you guys are like, do you guys train together? No, you never met. All right. I was like, you guys supposed to be training partners trying to fuck each other up. All right, that looks good. Just go nice and slow, both of you guys. Yeah. So roll on the floor. So the way this is better. This is better. Look, pull. Yeah, good. Actively. So let's not use the legs yet. I want you to actively pull the thumb and lean more. Right here is good.
Just
stop.
lean and.
Yep. Stop. Now look. Never bend your wrist. Don't do this. Do this.
Yes.
Would you ever do a bicep curl like this? No. So do this. Okay. So you're here. Right here. Pull the thumb to the chin, and hold. Hold right here. Good. Lean a little bit more. Good. Perfect. Yep. That's nice. Good. I want when this is done, I want your bicep to feel tired. Really pull hard to your bicep. Squeeze. Yeah. Good. Now, you feel the tension, right? So that creates the tension. The sign that you're doing a heel hook right is after you're done, your bicep is tired. Okay? Yes. So now you're going to compress very, very slowly with that right leg. He's ready to tap already, pretty much. Keep going, and pull more with the tension with the heel. Yeah, that was good. Your hips. Okay, one problem is your hips are facing too high up. What I would prefer is if your hips scooted back and faced down a little bit. So scoot your hips out. Your hips, not your upper body. No. Like look, watch. You're here. This is okay. Sorry. So let go of the heel for a second. Look, this is okay.
Yes.
This is better. Like, so let me show you one on what's your name, by the way? Thomas Rock. Nice to meet you, man. So bend your leg for me. So look, I'm gonna be here. You're like this right now.
Yes.
I want you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, look at where this leg is. It's right here. It's ready to push this down.
That's why my leg was so far away. Okay.
I'm still gonna stop.
Yeah, okay.
No, it was really good.
Okay.
Felt perfect tension.
Okay. So does that make sense? Here, this is where you are. It's still working. It'll still work. But this is not ideal. It can still work, but not ideal. Try to get your hips. Just look at my knee and my hip.
Can you give more braking pressure?
Yes, you can, because you're turning down. And because you want. Ultimately, what I want to do is push that down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And grab this one and then it breaks it.
Yeah, and obviously you have to actually have the heel.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. All right, that's good job.
That way.
Sorry, I'm freezing.
Good. That was good. Yeah, try not to spin too much. Okay, you'll be able to stop the spin by making sure when you spin and the conclusion of the roll, once you have this, your hips come this way. So look, your left hip goes back, the right hip comes forward. Yeah, that's good. Good. Now, there's no tension. No, your foot, keep it there. This is the correct spot. Right now, you're being nice, which is, of course, good. Yeah. Let's bring the thumb to your chin. Yeah, good. And roll a little, yep, good, and stop here. Now, don't do this with your wrist, do this. Like roll your wrist forward.
Forward.
Forward, like this. Yeah, good. Now pull your thumb to your chin. Very good. Yeah, that's good. Now, very slowly compress your right leg. Yeah, that was good. Her leg's a little too straight, but you could still get it. Yeah, the more bent it is, the tighter the finish is gonna be. Yeah, that's even stronger. Yeah, good job. Yeah, let me see it. Grab the toes. Yeah, no, go to the beginning. Grab the toe. No. Go like this. That's better. Pull it to the top, pose. Back elbow, good catch, yeah. Nice and light. So catch nice and loose. Yeah, so let's do all of this very slow, okay? Very, very slow, okay? So don't bridge. You're gonna bring your shoulder to the floor. So watch me. Just go like this. Again, slow.
And then?
No, you're not putting your shoulder to the floor. Like, this is here. I want it to go here. Yeah. So do this. Take your legs. Go like this. Just open up the legs so we're not putting pressure on the knee. So you can practice there's two components to this. There's the legs and the upper one. You can practice them independently. So what I want you to do is stay up. Put your shoulder close to the floor. Yep, good. Keep going. Okay, stop there. Stop right here. This is good. Now I want you to take your thumb, pull to your chin. Good. That's the upper body component. The lower body component, so let's go, let go of the heel. Let go of the heel. Let go of that. Let him out. Yeah, good. Okay, put your feet in place. So right foot goes on the far hip. No, that's his stomach.
Oh, that's ours.
Yeah, it's okay. No worries. Yeah, now you're gonna compress down with your right knee. Yeah, so the problem here is your hips are not, like your hips are facing like, you're like here. I want you to be more here. So yeah, that's way better, yes. And now you're gonna internally rotate the knee. So bend his leg a little bit more. Yeah, put the left arm to the other side of the leg. You don't get a heel hook, but just put it to the other side of the leg. Like this should not be here. Put it to the other side of the leg. This can go here. No, over. It's okay. Yeah, come up. And just put it here. Put your elbow here. Your left elbow. There you go. Good. All right, now all I want you to do is put the right foot on the hip and move your hips back the way I showed. Nope, move your hips back the way I showed. You just did it. Good. Now compress down to push his knee down. So you don't squeeze here. This stays down. This just compresses. Yeah, but look, watch. Take your left hip, bring it back, bring your right hip forward. You have two hips, right? Your left hip, bring it back, bring your right hip forward. Yeah, good. Now you can compress down. And then in conjunction with what you're doing with the leg, that's a heel hook, okay? Make sense? Okay. Yeah, okay, good job. All right, guys, so we don't really have time for another technique before Bilko takes over, but we'll wrap up my portion with any questions that you guys want to cover. Anything that we looked at today that you guys want to clarify.
I have a kind of a problem in 50-50 when people really retract the knee and really put weight on it. And I usually try to just underhook it and straighten the entire leg, but then I have the entire problem that I have like weirdly on my chest and I have to get into like rebending the leg to catch the heel. Yeah. Do you have any like simple solutions for that?
Let me see you in the situation. So Johan, can you help him out?
So in 50-50? So basically I'm fighting here and they basically just put all their weight and they retract their leg.
Yeah.
Like this. And I usually, so you do to me.
So don't come up. Sit down. Just put the foot on the floor.
And just pull this back and really put weight on it. So usually I just swim under. Oh, this leg doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
I pull it out. But here I'm like in this weird stretched leg situation, and I try to like fumble around with this, like sit up. But I always lose pressure. And I wonder if you have a better way of dealing with this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad situation at all. I mean, I think you're in a good spot right there. If you can hold the ankle against your chest the way you're doing, like this is strong, right? Like, so I wouldn't think of this as like a weird, bad situation or anything like that. Like, what you're doing is one of the things I would probably do. Another thing I might do is grab the other leg and go underneath that, pull his knees together to make his ankles weak. But it just depends on like the specifics of how he's defending.
So you mean from here? If he's
doing something like this, no, go underneath the other leg through the inside. Yep, good. Now grab your hands together on the other side of his knee, like closer towards his hip. Yeah, good. Now pull his knees together, and that'll start to create separation at his ankles, and now you can dig for heel hooks here, right?
No.
But sometimes maybe he has open legs. Let's say he has open legs. Sometimes you'll have guys that do stuff like this, right? This is what you're talking about, right? Yes. Yeah. So he puts the foot on the floor. Okay, so what you're doing is mostly what I would do. So do it again. Pull it towards your chest. Yeah, so now here, what I focus on is this. This is a very similar situation to one of the things we looked at today, right? Which is like, it's kind of like the end of a K-guard when you're in a backside 50-50, right? The difference here is, so let me just, I'll do it on Yuan, I'll just show you. So Yuan, come right here, so I'll do it on the same leg. So come right here. And come to this side, Thomas. So when I'm here, let's say I've got this here. Okay, usually what I'll do is I'll go to this position here, so gripping the heel with this hand, going here. And sometimes you can get taps with this. This is like called the infinity lock. But most of the time, I don't get the tap with it. Most of the time what I'll do is I'll do this to create extension, and then I'll start fighting to get my feet across. And then I'll use this to sit up, pass off, get here, and usually start spinning to chase. But if you can get it here, that would be even better too, right? Sometimes that's possible, but if they're good, they're gonna spin. You've got to try to, they might get away, or you get it on the spin. Like you come back here. So we are here, like so. I'm pulling tight. I'm gonna grip the heel, this comes out, cover the entire like side of the foot. And I'm gonna grip right here by the toes. You've got the infinity lock, which like you'll get taps with that.
Just a lateral knee bar, basically.
It's basically a lateral knee bar. Yeah, so it's called the infinity lock because there's a gym in Germany. I think it's called Matrix Jiu-Jitsu, and they put out a video calling it the infinity lock. So like people started calling it that. So anyway, so you're here. You can get this like side knee bar thing. And as you're doing this, what I like to do is turn my shins so they're in front of him, and then like open up space to start pummeling your feet. So you're here, you don't want to be here, right? He can come towards me. Yeah, this is really, really bad. So I'm creating extension, I want to start turning my hips down, my shins are in front of him, get your feet in front. Now from here, again, think of it as very similar to that backside 50-50 situation. It's very, very similar. One of the differences I would say is that from here, there's different ways you can start sitting up, right? So one way you can do it is called the tombstone method. I don't know why this is called a tombstone. So you're here, you sit up, push, 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 and you catch, okay? That way, it's okay, it can work. My favorite way is you just bridge in for this, you sit up, go here, and then spin. Because usually he's gonna spin, yeah. But that's okay. Yeah. Does that make sense though? Yeah. So I think the first thing is, don't think of this as like some weird dumb shit you're doing. It's actually I think good. So like, yeah. I think you're moving in the right direction. Yeah. Yeah. This is. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah.
For spinning, you hold the heel to kind of control the heel and like find it easily when you try to catch it in the
hold the heel or post at the shin.
No.
Yeah. Both can work. Usually I'll post at the shin actually. Like I find that works better. But
bend the leg.
Was that it's not so much to even bend the leg, it's more so to like keep I guess a little bit, yeah. So I don't want this. I'm just trying to get a very, very slight bend. Does that make sense? Yeah, so, yeah, but sometimes I will grab the heel. Yeah, it just depends. If I feel like, the reason I'll grab the heel is if I feel like it's possible for me to bend the foot by pulling and then pushing with my armpit, right? I will grab the heel. And then sometimes it doesn't work, and then you're still holding the heel, and then you have to spin while holding the heel. So like that's how that would happen, right? If I don't feel like there's any chance of me bending the leg and getting the heel right there, I'm gonna post like, okay, show me. And let's say you're, hide the heel here. Yeah, so I would be like here. Like, I like this better overall instead of the heel. Because here, while I'm pulling the heel, I have no ability to like, I'm not really gonna bend the leg with this, but there's like a very slight bend, and sometimes a slight bend is still helpful, right? So I'm here, and you can get like the heel. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, good question.